Hello, welcome to today's video. I am here with a very important message for all of you. Now, I have been analyzing the CBSE Class 10 board exam paper for the last 5 years very closely, and I know for a fact that there are some chapters that you can get away with not studying. So, there are chapters that are not so frequent in the exam that don't carry a lot of weightage, and even if it shows up, a question from one of those chapters shows up, you will always have the option of choosing to answer another question. But there are some chapters that you absolutely need to know in great detail to be able to do well in the literature section of your exam. So I am here with that special intel just for you with a list of chapters you absolutely should not skip while preparing for your English exam. There is a lot to read. I get it. 21 chapters, not a joke. Lots of material. And a lot of you are not in the habit of reading. You're not voracious readers. You don't read frequently. You don't even read a little. So I can see how that's extremely overwhelming for a vast majority of you. But don't worry. If you prepare these topics that I'm going to tell you, these chapters that I'm going to tell you in detail, then chances are you will be able to answer all of your literature questions. Let's start with the first flight chapters. What should you absolutely not skip? Number one, obviously, letter to God. So, in the previous year paper, you saw mostly short answer questions from this. Extract based questions, short answer questions, very common from a letter to God. So make sure that you have the facts of the story straight. You understand very well what the irony in the chapter is, and any kind of extract based question will probably ask you about certain devices used, for example, comparing raindrops to silver coins. So you need to make sure you understand all of those minute details from this chapter, especially for extract based questions and short answer questions. Then we have Nelson Mandela. This is again a non-skippable chapter. It's long, it's lengthy, it has a lot of information. A lot of you find it difficult, but it is an important chapter and it has a lot of different things that are generally asked about in the exam. What are the twin obligations? How did Mandela's idea of freedom change as he aged? Uh, why is the fact that hate is taught and so people can learn to love? Why are the greatest wealth or the best resources of South Africa, the people, purer than diamonds? The Walter Sisulu's, Chief Luthuli's, who are these? What do they represent? These are all the kind of questions that can be asked from this chapter. So make sure you have a proper understanding of everything that I've just told you. Now, coming to the poems from here, see, it will either be Dust of Snow or Fire and Ice. So it's usually observed that either you get a lot of questions from Dust or Snow, or Dust of Snow or Fire and Ice. So it's never both. There is a chance, and you can get a 6 marker where you have to compare both these poems, compare and contrast. What are the similarities? What are the differences? So they can also appear together for a long answer question. So you have to prepare both Dust of Snow and Fire and Ice. You cannot prepare one and think that you're done. All right. Then coming back, A Tiger in the Zoo, another important poem. Actually, I'll come to poems later. I don't know why I'm doing poems right now. We'll do poems later. Let's keep this clean and simple. Wow, what a mess I am today. Let's keep this clean and simple. We'll do chapters first and then I'll tell you poems. All right. So, Letter to God, Mandela. Then in 2 stories about flying, generally you get more questions from Black Aeroplane. All right. And from 2 stories about flying, you usually get extract based questions. Okay. So I would put more emphasis on the Black Aeroplane. rather than his first flight. But even though that's the name of the textbook itself, but you can expect extract based questions from both. Then coming to Diary of Anne Frank, again important, cannot skip. So far all the chapters we've seen, cannot skip. Now when it comes to these chapters like Diary of Anne Frank, Bholi, you get a lot of questions that ask you to compare characters from two different stories, and it can be like a very extrapolative question. Whom do you think would make a good friend to Anne? Why? Which character from any of the other stories would be a good friend to Anne? So questions that make you think out of the box a little bit. So Anne Frank is a chapter that has seen questions like this in the past, especially for long answer, 100-word answers. So make sure you are understanding the character of Anne. Anne is not a character, as a matter of fact, she was a real person. So you're understanding how she was, what her personality was like, and all of those things. Okay, so far we have this list. Then glimpses of India. I would ask you to focus on a baker of Goa the most. Sure, you can get a question from the others as well. There has been a question in the past, a long answer, where you had to write a dialogue between Pranjal and Rajveer, and where Rajveer was convincing Pranjal to go to Kurk. So they mixed these two chapters together to ask a long question, but you always have an option of answering another question instead of that one, right? So Baker from Goa generally sees more questions than the other two. Then we can skip Mitchell. Even Madam Rides the Bus, historically not too many questions. Skip Sermon at Banaras, and we come to the proposal. Now again, you can expect long answer questions from the proposal. All right? Why is it a farce? What are the different characteristics of this play that make it farcical or that make it a farce? And that's generally the kind of question you will get. You can get short answer questions where you will be asked what they were arguing about and stuff like that, but never too many details about the story itself. They will never ask you what was it exactly that, what exactly did Lomov say to Natalia about her and family, or her grandmother? What did Natalia say to Lomov about his family? You will never be asked a specific question like that. It'll be more in the general sense, all right? So these are the important chapters from First Flight from a board exam point of view. Valli as a character you should know about from Madam Rides the Bus, because you can use Valli. Like I said, Valli, the Anne question that I was talking about, Valli can be a good friend to Anne, because Valli and Anne have so many similar character traits. Like they're both mature for their age, they're both highly intelligent, they're both extremely sensitive. So those parallels you can draw. So you should know Valli as a character very well, but you can get away with not doing Madam Rides the Bus properly, okay? Now coming here to poems, like I said, Dust of Snow, Fire and Ice, you have to do both. Then we have a tiger in the zoo, definitely important. Then we have the ball poem, which is important. Amanda. And coming here, I would say these are your most important poems. In the second page of the contents, when I say you can get away with skipping, that means you can get away with doing these chapters in detail, properly. That does not mean you don't even look at it once. You at least have to read all the chapters and poems once and understand them once. Again, you have to revisit everything before the exam. That's when I'm saying it's okay to skip the rest. But you have to read them once. This is very important. Don't misquote me and say that you said not to prepare these chapters. Not preparing means not going into great detail and sitting with these chapters again and again and again. What I mean by skipping is that you've read them once, you've understood them once, you don't revisit them again and again before the board exam. Okay? With that out of the way, now let's make our way to Footprints Without Feet. The important chapters here: A Triumph of Surgery, Responsible Pet Ownership. Why did Mrs. Pumphrey say it was a triumph of surgery? Very common question. Short answer. All right. Then you have the thief story. Why did Hari Singh come back? What happened that he stole the money from Anil but then decided to give it back? Very common question. Then we can skip right to the necklace. And finally, Bholi. Okay, so these are your most important chapters from Footprints Without Feet, which have a higher weightage. Now you can also check the CBSE blueprint if you want the exact weightage of these chapters in terms of how many marks they carried in the previous board exam. We will also analyze through the sample paper of this year, and I'm sure the sample paper will validate what I have told you because I've been observing this in great detail for the past 5 years. All right. So make sure you're doing all of these chapters that I've stated properly. Do not skip revising and redoing these chapters before the board exam. I will see you soon. Till then, you take care. Share this video with your friends so it can help them as well. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and most importantly, don't forget to take very good care of yourselves. Bye-bye.